In this week's video, we're going to talk about what happens on closing day, and we're going to start right now. Hi, in this week's video, we're going to talk about what happens on closing day, and we're going to talk about it from both the buyer's point of view and the seller's point of view. We're going to take a look at closing day, but before we do that, we're going to look at it from the buyer's point of view. We're going to back it up a few days. Now, a day or two before closing, you're going to do what they call a final walkthrough. And a final walkthrough, it's not an inspection, but it's to ensure the compliance with the purchase agreement. So if you ask the seller to make some repairs, you're going to make sure those repairs have been done. And if you asked for, let's say, the fridge and the stove, you want to make sure the fridge and the stove are still there. Along with, when the seller moved out, you want to make sure that they didn't damage the property on the way out. And that's the purpose of a walkthrough. On the day before closing, either the title company or the lender is going to contact the buyer to inform the buyer of the exact funds you'll need to bring to closing. Now, this will need to be in the form of a certified check made payable to the title company. Okay, if you're the buyer, never, ever, ever accept, if you're going to wire the funds to the title company will never, ever contact you via email to have you wire the funds. Okay, and here's why. And this is something that's happening, and that is people are hacking into either the title company's emails or the agent's emails, and they're emailing the client saying, hey, wire the funds to this account. And next thing you know, you just wired Russia a bunch of funds. So you want to make sure that you never ever wire funds to the title company via from email instructions. On closing day, the buyer is going to arrive at the title company. The buyer will need to have a current photo ID and the certified funds made payable to the title company. At closing, you're going to sign a stack of paperwork. Now, this stack of paperwork is the deed and the loan documents. Normally, it takes about an hour to sign all the paperwork. The title company will take photocopies of your ID and your certified check. And at the end of closing, you're going to get the key to your house. Now for the seller. If you're the seller, normally about a week before closing, the title company is going to contact you to come in and sign your side of the paperwork. Now, this is called the deed set. And the reason why they do this is for your convenience. That way, you don't have to coordinate the buyer and the seller all showing up to closing at the same time. You sign your side of the paperwork ahead of time. All right, if you're the seller, you want to make sure you mow the yard a few days before closing, and you want to make sure the home is clean. Now, on closing day, all your belongings should be removed from the house before closing. Any required repairs should be completed before the final walkthrough, and copies of all the receipts should be given to your realtor. All keys should be left on the kitchen countertop, along with any garage door openers and any manuals and that sort of thing. After closing, if you're the seller, about an hour after closing, your listing agent is going to contact you or the title company, and they're going to say that the closing has been complete and that you'll be able to come out and pick up your check. If you decide to have your proceeds wired to your account, it may take one business day for the funds to actually hit your account. Now, if you're using your proceeds to purchase your next home, you'll want to make sure to discuss that with the title company well before closing so you can coordinate that. Now, if you're the seller, you'll also need your closing statement for next tax season, so be sure to hang on to that for next tax season.